and welcome back to America's Voice Live. Again, I'm Miranda Kahn filling in for Steve Gruber right now. So Joan Donovan, an expert in misinformation and disinformation, will be joining Boston University's College of Communication this fall after she departed Harvard University earlier this year. Now, over the last year, Donovan has made many statements supporting left-wing causes and attacking right-wing ones. As part of her role as a researcher, Donovan plans to build an internet observatory. There she is right there, collecting all online posts of nationally elected politicians. Her goal is to get a law passed so that the National Archives will take this over and do it permanently. The researcher has previously indicated that she believes that research regarding manipulation and disinformation have a right-wing Republican agenda. During the Target boycotts in May, Donovan tweeted, "Target can't even sell Live, Laugh, Lesbian shirts for fear of right-wing violence." Here with us now to discuss this is Campus Reform Higher Education Fellow and also a professor of political science at Suffolk Community College in New York, Nicholas I hope I'm saying your last name right, Giordano. Thank you so much. I know I said it wrong right before the break, so I want to make sure I say it correctly. But never mind that. This nonsense there, how is that not censorship there? I mean, and Big Brother censorship at that. Didn't we have enough of that with social media and mainstream media outlets?
Absolutely, and it shows that Boston University has done away with their commitment to open debate, open dialogue, diverse perspectives, because Joan Donovan has exposed herself for who she really is. When she talks about misinformation, disinformation, she says it's part of a right-wing media ecosystem. And she is someone that supports content moderation, which is nothing more than censorship. Unfortunately, though, it's a broader problem in academia. As this semester kicks off, we are seeing more and more courses being offered talking about misinformation and disinformation. And we have this unholy alliance between government and the academics, where the academics are now building out censorship models for the United States government. For example, in Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin received a $5 million grant from the National Science Foundation to target what they deem as misinformation and strategically correct it. This is in the testing phase, and they want to put it in the newsrooms throughout the country. You have the University of Syracuse, Syracuse University, and University of Daytona, where we're seeing the same thing. They've been awarded grants by Homeland Security in order to target misinformation and disinformation, but they never define what misinformation and disinformation is. More importantly, they never expose who's the largest purveyors of misinformation and disinformation throughout history, which is the government. I mean, the Gulf of Tonkin, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We saw throughout the coronavirus, there was constant misinformation being pushed by the government, and they were actually censoring people, scientists, that were actually correct. So we see where this is going, and unfortunately, in the academic world, they're working for the government. I mean, they believe that this is the ticket, that they're the ones that should be the guardians of the flow of information. They don't believe in the free flow of information anymore.
Yeah, I mean, freedom of speech is definitely under attack. And you bring up a good point when you talk about the pandemic. You would think that we've learned our lesson from that, but we haven't. This is one of the main reasons why, Elon Musk took over Twitter, now referred to as X, is because of that. Because a lot of things that are labeled as misinformation end up being proven true, to your point. So what can we do to fight against this? Because it seems to be becoming more and more so the norm, despite what history has shown us.
Well, I mean, listen, diversity of thought, freedom of speech is essential in this country. I mean, this is what our republic is actually founded on. And without these principles, we don't have a republic anymore. It's funny because these are the same people that like to scream about democracy. However, they only want one way of thinking to go. Only the government narrative could be pushed forward and anything else should be censored. I think that people need to speak up more forcefully and engage in the absolute right of freedom of speech. I think academia as a whole needs to reevaluate to identify where they've gone wrong and get back to the roots of open inquiry, freedom of debate. This is the whole point of college, is to get students to think critically, to get students to be able to solve problems. Unfortunately, they want a narrow-minded point of view to indoctrinate and poison the student body, and that's reflecting in the broader society. So we have to stand up, and I'm talking about professors have to stand up against this, because it does infringe on academic freedom and the entire intent of higher education.
Agreed. Nicholas, thank you so much for joining us here on America's Voice Live. Please come back.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Coming up after the break, a school in Colorado is teaching false anti-American history. We'll be right back.